Hi there. We are going to go ahead now and practice Exam 4. The first question on Practice Exam 4 is question 11, and we're going to do this bank reconciliation. The important thing to remember is that when you're doing a bank reconciliation, you're taking the information the bank sends you and you're comparing it to the information you have on your books, and you reconcile these two numbers. Whatever the bank has on their bank statement that's not on your books, you adjust the book balance. Whatever the books have that's not on the bank statement, you adjust the bank statement. And then you should come up with some numbers that are equal, and you'll know exactly what your cash balance is. So the first thing you do is start out with a proper title. So I just went ahead and did that to save us some time. But this is worth a point on your exam, so always tell us the organization, what kind of document we're looking at, and the date. I went ahead and wrote cash balance according to bank and cash balance according to company records because that's a good place to start. Then as you do your exam, you'll write in the information as you come across it. So you would start out by going, well, what's my cash balance according to the bank? There it is, 92, 93, 11. So you would write that down and go 92, 93, 11. And what's my cash balance on the books? 45, 26, 25. All right, so now we're going to adjust these. So whenever I come across something that needs to adjust the bank statement, I can just put it up here, right? It's on the books, but not the bank statement. I adjust this. If it's on the bank statement, but not the books, I adjust this. So I have to read each thing very carefully and determine which is which. Now remember, this is an example. On your exam, you might have something different. Like this one doesn't have a bounce check, but maybe you would have a bounce check. Or this one doesn't have the bank collecting a note receivable, so you might have something like that. Or, something different numbers for sure. So don't rely on this as being, oh, it'll be exactly like this with different numbers. That's not the case. This is an example, but there's certainly other things that could be on a bank statement, and we learned those in class, and some of those are on the homework problems, and certainly you can go back and review those if you want a refresher on other things that could be on a bank statement. All right. So let's just go ahead, now we've done our cash balances, let's go ahead and look for, there's always going to be deposits in transit and checks outstanding. There's just going to be like the very last deposit won't have gotten there. There's always going to be some checks that you're written that haven't been cashed. So we know those get adjusted to the bank, because certainly if you wrote a check, it's in your books, it just hasn't cleared the bank yet. So this tells us we have checks outstanding, 5362, and deposits in transit, 56202. So let's just add those deposits in transit. For 56202. And that gives us a new total of 985513. Okay, so now from that new total we'll deduct our outstanding checks. Total checks outstanding 5362.88. Right, and that is going to give us 4492.25. And let's see if there's anything else. We're looking for things like a mistake or something that the bank could have made that the bank thinks is right, but we know from our books is wrong. Here's the company journal, recorded a check, but the check was really written for include the bank. So that's something the bank has correct, but the books are wrong. So that's got to get adjusted on the books. A bank debit memo for service charge. Certainly the bank knows it's charged a service charge, so that's it. And that's it. So these two items are going to get adjusted to the balance on the books. So we don't have anything else to do the bank statement, so that means this is our adjusted balance. Right there. All right. So let's adjust this. So we know we have this mistake. All right. The company cash journal recorded it as 7/23/26, but it was really written for and cleared for 7/32/26. All right, so this is one of those transpositions. So you know it's going to be divisible by 9, and in this case it is 9, right? It is 9, right? So we know the difference is $9, but is that an increase or is that a decrease to cash? Well, we recorded it as 7/23, right? But it actually was 7/32, so that means we haven't taken enough cash out of our cash account, right? Because it cleared for higher than what we have down. So that means we need to remove $9 from our account, from our books. All right, so deduct error, and we need to fix that. $9, right? And another thing we need to deduct is this $25 service charge, right? And when you deduct those, you come up with your adjusted balance of $44.92.25, and oh, yep, those are the same. So we're done. I promise you I will not give you a problem that doesn't balance. If your bank reconciliation doesn't match, then, well, you did it wrong. All right, so now let's go ahead and do the second part of this problem, which is journalize the adjusting entries. So the last thing we got to do is journalize required adjusting entries based on the information above. So one easy thing when you do these adjusting entries is you're only worried about adjusting your own books, right? So whatever we had to change for the bank, we don't care. So we just need to adjust this $9 and this $25. Right? So we're going to do our journal entries, and of course date, accounts, debit, and credit. All right, and we know this is July 31, right? The first thing is the $9 error, and as you know, we are adjusting our accounts payable, right? So we're lowering cash, increasing the accounts payable, and we don't know who it is, but on your exam I'd probably give you a name. The account payable for Smith or something like that. 9. And the cash, of course, needs to go down because it was deduct from cash, so that's easy enough. And the bank statement, $25. Well, we already said that bank statement fees are miscellaneous expense, and of course it's cash going down, so that's your credit. 25 and 25. And that's it. You have worked problem 11, a bank statement, and doing the adjusting entries to cash. Remember, you could have slightly different things going on. Maybe a bounced check, or maybe a note got collected. Something interesting happened. The bank made an error instead of you. So go back and practice your homeworks too and the other exams to make sure you understand all the different things that could happen on a reconciliation. Okay, and good luck with that.